Hello everybody, my name is Litiba. Welcome to my channel. Today I am actually going to be letting you guys know on the most important things that you guys need to do or remember as an ESL tutor online, because these are things that you might just forget to do. And without wasting any more of your time, let us get right into it. So I wanted to just shoot this now because it is like 10 o'clock in the evening and I just wanted to just release this now. I know there's like a shadow at the back, but anyway, so the very first thing, guys, that I would like to share with you just as an ESL tutor is in your trial lessons, like these are just things that are, like for instance, stuff that I really want to share with you today are just things that we may forget to do on a regular basis, but they are literally so essential to do so that you make your teaching experience really run smoothly. And the very first thing would be, when you are in your trial notes, do pay attention to where your students are from, what their hobbies are. Should that be anything that they actually answer, because you will, these are some of the things that you can this information is just some of the things that you can refer back to, in your future lessons, as well as in where they're from. For instance, if your student's from Poland, their age, what they do for a living, just basic information that you may utilize in future lessons. Write that down. You can even create like a table for yourself, of basic information that you may use in a later stage or at a later stage. So that is just one of the things that I would advise ESL tutors, English online tutors, to actually do in their first lessons or even their second lessons, even the name, just like vital information of the people or your student. The other thing that I want to talk about is what I've been learning, as I've been teaching online well over 4 to 5 months now, is just a necessity to also become a student. There are going to be topics that you might not remember, maybe such as conditionals or tenses, how to use tenses correctly, because this is actually the predominant topic that students actually want to develop or work on. And I would highly recommend that you actually watch tutorials on YouTube. I can link those down below, or go on certain sites. There's a video of sites that I will also link the sites down below, but there will be a video that I will be releasing on the top sites that I actually use students to practice their tenses, which is your past, present, perfect tenses, future tenses, but also I think it's very important that you as a tutor, you also educate yourself and you kind of remind yourself of all these different topics, or all these different topics that students might ask you in a lesson. You becoming the student as well is very, very important, because we don't remember everything that we learned like years ago. So it is just important that you also revisit some of the English grammar rules, sentence construction rules, so that you're able to add more value in your classes. The other things that I wanted to talk about is rest. As I've mentioned extensively in my previous videos, just the importance of really knowing how to set your availability, in as much as they do advise that you open up your availability, but in the beginning you may fall in the trap of just opening up your availability and forgetting to slot the time for you to rest, right? Or to maybe just dedicate time for you to rest, because it is very important that you give yourself that time purely for rest purposes, but also during that time you can plan your lessons, you can recap on lessons, you can do other things that you want to work on that are outside of being an English online tutor. So do not forget to slot out, in as much as you're making your timetable or your calendar available, and you're really opening up the space for you to get students or to give students greater options of booking with you. Do not forget to also just really book those rest sessions for yourself, because they are going to come in handy. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is what I often forget to do, and that is to jot down what I did in the last lesson, which is very important because then you get to recap on past vocabulary, but also that also helps to just track progress, as to, okay, so last lesson, this is what we did, and maybe this is what we can continue doing. Or like just something like that. Like, it is just very important to always make notes. You'll see on the PREPLY space that there is like a note-taking section where it's very private. It is private. The student does not see your notes, so you can just jot down there. Like what I do, for instance, is like when we're working on a particular subject, I will copy the heading of that, the title or heading, whichever way you would like to call it really. I will copy that and then put it into my private notes, so that when I meet with them again, I remember exactly which topics we did, so that we don't repeat it. You know what I'm saying? Or I do not think that, oh, we didn't do it, can't do, we actually did it, and also it helps you to also just keep up to date with what subjects did we talk about and which subjects do we still have to talk about. The other thing is to also project into your next lesson, which is then to just jot down that, okay, in the next lesson, this is what we are going to do. You can send your student like a message of that in the next lesson, maybe this is a topic that we can work on. Or on PREPLY, you could actually set it up as the course that they will have to do on their own. You will see on PREPLY that there's a section for self-study, which actually encourages the student to do some of the lessons or some of the activities on their own. And then should there be a student that really just wants to focus on the conversational lessons, then you can just focus on that. Or you could actually do all the lessons and all the activities within, for instance, let's say the topic is about financial emancipation or something. You can do all the vocabulary, listening, writing, all those activities with the student in the class, and then you can go to the live lesson. And what a live lesson is just where you guys just talk about whatever it is that the entire topic of that day encompasses, so it's really up to you how you would like to structure your lessons. But I would really recommend that you do jot down what you did in your previous lesson, but also you project into what you'll do in your next lesson. Another thing that I really want to share with you guys is an instance or an incident that I've often found myself in, where you find that the student cannot make it or you cannot make it, but the student will pay for that hour anyway, and then you'd have to find another hour outside of the PREPLY schedule to fit that student in. What I would recommend is that every hour that the student pays that they did not attend, or every class or lesson that the student pays for that they did not attend, write those hours down, because it is possible for you to lose track of the amount of hours that the student paid for, because I remember there was a student that I, because our times clashed, then we would have to schedule like a lesson on WhatsApp, or yes, mostly it was on WhatsApp. But then at some point I lost track of the hours, and that became a bit problematic on my end, because then you don't know anymore like how many hours did the student pay for and how many hours do I still owe the student. So this only happens when the student actually confirms a lesson that actually did not happen, because like once a lesson is confirmed, you cannot go back into into the class and have a lesson again, right? Or once a lesson is passed, you cannot go back and have that lesson again because the hour has passed. So you would have to have the lesson on a different platform. That is allowed. It's nothing illegal or anything like that. But what I would recommend, guys, is please do jot down all the hours that might have accumulated in that way, so that you keep track of those hours, not only for yourself but also for the student as well. The other thing that I would like to just encourage you guys is don't doubt yourself, and don't feel like, because like in class, do say if there's something that you do not know, do admit, and you can search for it or Google it. You can say, please just give me time to find it, or because I'm not sure right now. You need to remember, Khori, these are things that we learned long ago, and as we are teaching as well, we are kind of refreshing our memory on some of these topics. Do ask for, okay, can I just search for it quick? Like, don't be scared to do that. But also in the same token, do not doubt yourself. It's a new experience, and it's a beautiful thing to learn and grow, right? So always remember that, Khore, this is a new experience for me. I will not be perfect at it, but I am working towards becoming comfortable as I encounter different personalities, different students, different topics, different needs. You will find ways to really conquer every challenge that presents itself. So take it easy. Don't be so hard on yourself. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is relying only on PREPLY. PREPLY has literally like a whole plethora of resources, and I really love PREPLY because then you could actually track because students also say, they track their vocabulary as well. They practice vocabulary and things like that. You can track how well the student is doing, like how many topics have they completed, or how many topics have you not completed with the student. So there's a whole lot of resources on PREPLY that you can use. But I will, as I've said before earlier on in this video, is that you could also extend and broaden out to other resources that might be very helpful for students. There's so many times where I've used resources such as Ingu, such as eGrammar, such as English Here, which really focuses on just tenses. Some of the sites focuses on our like parts of speech, and also come with activities that can be very beneficial for the student to practice during the class. As I've said before, I will be linking these links down below, but I'll also be releasing maybe like four videos in the next coming weeks of resources that are super helpful for you as the English online teacher, but also for your students to practice and use in their free time as homework or even during the class. I've had a lot of good feedback with some of these websites that I've recommended to students, and also some of these websites I actually got it from students, so I will be plugging you guys out with those. So be on the lookout for those videos. And guys, please do not forget, if you would like to become an English online tutor with PREPLY, my link is down below. There are affiliate links, but through these links you will be able to apply and instantly just become like if you would like to hear about just how I became an English online tutor and how long my process took, you could actually click on the card. I don't know if I'm going to link it. I'll probably link a card up here, or you will find it in my description below, which will give you a better understanding of how long it took for me to become an English online tutor. So yes guys, do not forget to just do that. Click on the link below and become an English online tutor. Okay guys, so yes, that was it, and I hope this information is helpful. You will see guys, it will be very beneficial. Until next time guys, please do be on the lookout for all the resource-based content for ESL or English online tutors. Everyone that's already subscribing and liking and commenting, I really do appreciate it, and I'm always very open to answering all your questions And please do not worry. There was someone that was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for asking so many questions. Yo dude, listen, I want to help you. I want to help you to an extent where you go into this entire thing somewhat understanding what you're putting yourself into and what you're getting yourself into. So if you'd like to see more of that, guys, the links are down below of my introduction video, my 3-month review, and part 1 and part 2, and what it actually takes to become a PREPLY English tutor. Until then, guys, kita next time.